Welcome back to the Cyberman, guys. Apologies for my appearance. I didn't get much sleep. I played cards all day yesterday and I haven't had a haircut in ages because of the lockdown, so I look like a psychopath. Anyway, today I'm doing a deck profile of my third place Oceania Regionals 6-1, I want to say. Yeah, 6-1 Set 7 Zamasu. It's the reverse ramp deck. A lot of fun. It was a pick I made pretty early into this meta, seeing so much Super Saiyan 4 and other decks that go long. I thought that it would be good to use this deck just to kind of combat that. And it really did work well because I came up against a Super Saiyan 4 and I was able to kind of win that because of the ramp. And it was really good. So I hope you enjoy this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what you'd like to see in the future. Obviously I haven't been doing videos that often, more live videos, so subscribe and watch us live on a weekly basis as well. That's really good. And we're going to have Dylan's topping. He got 9th place with U7 Gohan in the same event, so we'll show you that as well. Cheers, guys. Alrighty, guys, so we have the leader Goku Black and Zamasu, and on the other side Fuse Zamasu Supreme Strike. Now this is a set 7 leader. I've always liked it. Even in set 7 I played this just because I really like the alternate win con. It's not like nothing else we really have in the game. Obviously the main win con of this deck is to ramp your opponent to 8 energy and then bottom deck their life. So this guy has a on attack auto to search the top 5 cards of your deck for a Goku Black or Zamasu card. Now that is very helpful because it makes it pretty damn consistent. The only problem you have with it is you don't get to draw into much else other than with your turn draw. So that's why we run some other things to help us draw, which we'll get to in a moment. Then his awaken auto, his awaken condition is if your opponent has 3 or more energy, you can awaken. Now that used to be a real issue with this deck because your opponent could just not charge and you would never be able to awaken because he doesn't have another awaken condition. It's only when they're at 3 energy. So once you do awaken, untap 1, draw 1, he has the same auto on attack to search. He then has another auto where if he attacks a leader card, he gets -5. Now that can be useful because you might want to attack a leader and not do damage once they're on 4 life, and also get your draw. But usually what I do with this is attack Unison cards because that auto only happens when you attack leaders. Then he has an activate main, that is if your opponent has 8 or more energy, you may choose 4 cards in your opponent's life and place them at the bottom of their deck in any order. So that's pretty much burn 4. There has been very rare occurrences where my opponent was on more than 4 life and you just start burning. You can do it 2 turns in a row. It's once per turn obviously, but usually you get them to 4 or less and hit them with that. He also has an activate main, which is tap 1 and choose one of your opponent's battle cards to send to their hand. That's very useful for spot removal, especially for things like SCRs like Hachiak, like Kai, because it deletes them from the game. So you send to hand, but they're gone from the game, and that's for 1 energy. Very nice. It's a blue leader, obviously, so you get to play a lot of the nice blue stuff. So let's go first. We'll go into the blue ramp, the Zamasu kind of combo. So this is Zamasu Cosmic Trader. I run 4 of these. For consistency, you can search it with the leader, but you really want to mulligan hard for this guy. He's the best thing you can have at the start. So when you play him, you choose the top card of your deck and place it in your energy, and then at the end of the turn you place that card in your drop. If it's not there, then you place another card in the drop. So it's a ramp for 1, but it only ramps for the turn. So you get him out and it allows you to do things like play the Boo Unison on turn 3. It allows you to go into the obviously the bigger guys with fusion. So we play 4 of the Goku Black. So this is a similar, it's part of the same package. Goku Black, Future Decimator. This guy is an activate main from hand. You place him in energy in active mode from your hand, and you cannot play Goku Black or Zamasu, any cards other than Goku Black or Zamasu for the turn. So this guy isn't as universal as this one. This guy doesn't let you play the Unison when you use him. So usually you want to use him when you're going to play a Goku Black or Zamasu card. What I can do with this, and if you get the combo right, you can get it so you're able to awaken on turn 3, and you play this guy in your energy, play him, put a card in energy, awaken, untap, then you have 4 energy on turn 3 to be able to play the Unison, which was probably my most common play You can go into the Big Boy on turn 3 if you either get this and this, or if you get this and another Goku Black, because you need a Goku Black either on field or in energy to do it. Next up we have 4 of Fuse Zamasu, Advocate for Evil. So this guy is what you fuse into. Your first fusion is a 24k indestructible. He doesn't have any other skills, but he's able to fuse from cards in energy if you wish, and you have to have at least 3 energy to do it, which is pretty easy. You don't really want to be playing him before turn 3 anyway. But if you don't have your pieces, you can play this on the board. He's indestructible. If you're not playing against red, it's kind of hard for them to remove it, and maybe yellow for the negating skills. Get him out by fusing into these 2 or into another Goku Black. So you have a lot of options for the Goku Black side, because this one is not as useful because you can't play other cards when he's in energy. You can actually use other Goku Blacks that we'll show you soon. So we got 4 of those, and then we have 3 of the big guy. So this is Fuse Zamasu, the Divine Immortal. Now he comes out on top of a 5-drop, blue 5-drop Zamasu for 4 energy. So you can do this on turn 3 again if you go into Cosmic Trader and Awaken, or if you go Cosmic Trader and Goku Black to make it 4. And then he has an activate main / battle that lets you play Tragedy Overground from your deck, your drop, your hand, or your energy area. Now he also is a dual attack 35k indestructible, so sometimes I'll get this kind of board and just pressure with him, because the activate battle he dumps himself to the drop. So you can pressure with him 35k on Unisons, on leaders, on whatever else, because 35k is a big number obviously, as you know. So it's nice to get that guy out. He brings Tragedy Overground, which I have 2. Tragedy Overground is an extra card, field card. This card cannot be removed by your opponent's battle card skills, and also when your opponent plays any or attempts to play a battle card with an energy cost of 4 or more, it goes into energy instead of being played. The instead is important because they don't get on play orders, so it really shuts them down. And when this is played using this guy, or just played from hand, which I've done before with 9 energy, not in this tournament, it chooses all of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier, and they go into their energy and rest mode. So that's the best way of getting them to 8. Most of the time, unless they're playing something really with lots of small cards, which has happened, you won't get to 8 energy with this. But you want to get this out pretty early just to stop them from doing things. And then you can work on getting them to 8 energy or killing them afterwards. So these guys are very, very strong. Next up we have, this is the other Goku Black I was talking about. I have 2 of the Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black Divine Prosperity. To be honest, if I had more of these, I'll probably play them. I've only got 2. This card is so good. This is the card that kind of helps you with getting to your Awaken, because what it is a counter attack for 1 blue, 1 yellow. When you play this card, negates the attack, play the card. When you play it, if your opponent has 3 or less energy, you may choose one of their battle cards in rest mode and place it in their energy in rest. So that if they have 2 energy and they attack with something, you can counter attack with this, send it to their energy in rest, and then you're able to Awaken. And then for the rest of the game, if they have 2 or more energy, which they mostly always will, you can just untap 2 energy when you play it. So it's like a Whiz Coercion pretty much, but for 2 energy. The main thing with this is, and you usually try and get it out, I will get to 2 energy and pass turn, leave them up, and try and get this guy out, because that means it almost guarantees that as long as you have this guy, you can get into him. You're going to be searching for these guys each turn. So you've got 2 options, either get this guy in hand or get this guy in hand, and you're able to get him out and then fuse with this one into that guy. But this card is so good, and just because in late game you have a lot of energy open because you're not really playing too much, this is just lots of free counters. Very, very fun. The next up we have 4 of the new Zamasu, the Eliminator. Now this is the main reason I went back to this deck, because this card is so strong, and so many decks rely on Unisons these days. This guy is a indestructible. He has a counterplay Tap 2, the card being played, if it has an energy cost of 4 or less, is sent back to hand. So that includes Unisons, because it says the card, not the battle card. And then when he's played, you draw a card and choose one of your opponent's battle cards, switch to rest mode. So much value for 2 energy. And then he's also indestructible, so he's hard to get rid of, and he's a fusion target as well. So you just, it's got so much utility in this deck. And he's also, on top of that, he's like the Beerus, where he ignores energy exhaust if you have a multicolor in your energy. So if you do draw a couple of these, or you're playing against someone that's not really playing Unisons or things that you need to use it for, you can charge it as well. Next up, and this was a late addition, I run 2 of the Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black Epochal Schema. Now this is a card from the new anniversary box. I wasn't going to run it. I was thinking about running something else, but I'm glad I did, because this put in so much work. It's a really good card. It's almost a Booney-esque, except it's easier to get rid of. But it has Deflect and Double Strike. It's a 4 cost. He has an auto, so whenever he's on the field, at the end of your turn, you untap a multicolor energy. So that is really cool. Just being able to get energy up, especially in combination with the Boo Unison that untaps a monocolor energy. You're able to get 2 energy up at the end of the turn after using it all. And then when you play him, he plays 4 shadow tokens with blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. So you're getting 4 10k battle cards that have blocker, and then they also have 5k combo power. So it is, if your opponent can't get rid of them easily, and if you have this guy, where is it? If you have Tragedy Overground out, it's hard for your opponent to play removal as well. Things like token removal that they normally play, like Mars Saiyan and things like that, can't be played. So it's hard to get rid of them. You can block 4 attacks. Otherwise, you've got 20k combo power right there on board that you can go for game with as well. And it's such a good card. There were a couple of games where my opponent didn't get rid of this, and I was able to untap like 3 times at the end of turn, and it just started snowballing, which is crazy strong. Now the last Zamasu card I play is Fuse Zamasu Divine Providence. Now this is a one-of, because it's not played very often. I used this to win 1 game, which was against Super Saiyan 4 ramp, but what it is indestructible, tap 6, 4 blue, 2 yellow. You fuse with a Zamasu and a Goku Black. So usually you'll have like the counterplay and the negate, or the counterplay and this guy on the field, or even if I don't go into Tragedy, I might have this guy. When you play him with Union, you look at your opponent's hand, choose 2 cards, and put them in their energy and rest. So this actually won me a game, not in this tournament, by letting me see my opponent's hand and charging their super combos, and then I could go for game as well. But extremely powerful, and I just like, such a good card. But one off because you don't play it until 6 energy, and you can search it very easily with the leader, so it's not completely needed. Play 3 of the Boo Unison. So this guy is, in my opinion, probably one of, if not the best Unison in the game. He is a 4 cost, but you can play him on turn 3 if you can awaken and use Cosmic Trader, or Senzu Bean, but you want to really awaken if possible. And that's what I'll try and do generally, because they're hard to search for. I'll mostly mulligan kind of my whole hand really to get this guy and this guy. But he is a double strike blocker. He has a +0 where you draw 1 card, and at the end of, or at the start of your opponent's main phase, you untap him and a monocolor blue. So he's a blocker, and then -1. He has an auto when one of your opponent's battle cards attacks. You may choose one of their battle cards and place it under their deck. So it's just good removal. I don't use the -1 too much if I haven't gone into Tragedy yet, because I will generally want to ramp them. So I don't remove their board a lot of the time, but during towards the end of the game, -1 is very, very useful to stop big attacks and things like that. I run 4 of Super Saiyan Trunks God Sealing Technique. We all know this card, amazing. It works well with the Boo Unison, get it out turn 3, and then you've got this guy. But to be honest, I probably played this once, I think, during the tournament, because you've got so much coverage with the Zamasu, and if you get Tragedy out, then they're not playing anything more than 4 anyway, so you just use that, and you have the energy a lot of the time. But it's such a good card. I have it at 4. I would probably bring it down to 3 or even 2 in this deck, just because I don't use it very often. Next up, the super combos. I have 2 different super combos. Elegant Assistance Helez at 2 and Zamasu Sacred Disbelief at 2. Now, I don't know if I would keep it that way. I feel like Zamasu at 4 is probably better just because you can draw into it with the leader, but I just really love this card and I've always liked it, so that's why I use it more for a love of the card type thing rather than the best option for the deck, because it's not searchable. But what this one is it's like an old school version of the later super combos that draw 2. So when you combo with this card, if your leader is a god, you drop a card and draw 2. So it's just a nice filtering technique. And because it's sometimes hard to find what you need, it's good to have that. But obviously Zamasu being searchable and just being as powerful as it is good. I just don't play any Arrival in here, so it's not too... you don't need it too much. I play 3 Beerus Fickle God. This is obviously the Checkland. Because we have a lot of multicolor in here, I don't need to play more than that, because these also work as Checklands as well. Generally turn 1, it's kind of essential to charge a multicolor, so I will charge whatever I see, whether it be one of these key pieces, even if it's this one, even if it's a super combo, if it's the only one I see. You need to have multicolor turn 1, just so you have all these multicolor cards turned on straight away. 4 of Senzu Bean. Kind of goes without saying, it's an amazing card for extending turns, for defense as well. I went up against the Majin Buu deck in round 7. I was already X1, so I was 5-1 at the time. Majin Buu deck has lots of 15Ks, so chuck 1 or 2 of these on the leader and it kind of stops their turn, which is very good. 4 of Dimension Magic, again kind of self-explanatory. We know that this is probably the best blue negate still, so strong. Then we have a 1 of Fu Shrouded in Mystery. Now this guy ended maybe 2 or 3 of my games yesterday. Unbelievable card. By the time I'm playing this, I've seen most of my deck. You got the Buu Unison out, you're drawing all these cards that help you draw, and then this guy just shuts them down. You got the Buu Unison on board, which is a double strike. Sometimes I'll have this on board as well, dual attack, and then I have this on board, double strike. It's just so much pressure when they can't negate. A lot of the super combos these days don't get the combo power if you played Fu, so that just makes them dead cards. Very strong. Now I did play a Silver Bullet, or if you call it that, in my deck, 2 Dabura Ritual at hand, just because I knew that Cell Surge was a thing. Simon said I should play 4, but 2 felt okay. I usually got, against Cell Surge, I played 2 of them and I got maybe 1 off, because you don't see them all the time, of course. There was a really funny interaction that happened in my Cell Surge game. He used Cell's Earth Destroying Kamehameha and picked one of these out of my hand, which was hilarious. Being able to pay 1 and draw 2 off it, which was awesome. Get a free body on the field. Such a good card. I think, honestly, my Cell Surge matches, I feel like I got lucky, because hand destruction, obviously with so many different pieces that you need for this deck, hand destruction can be dangerous, and I think I just got lucky that they didn't see the cards they needed, or I had answers at the time. And last card is the Hachiyak SCR. I feel like that's also self-explanatory. Just being able to stop a turn dead is crazy good. You're definitely able to survive until you can use it. I didn't play, just trying to think if I played anything super aggressive, and I played Gogeta Zeno, which was probably my hardest game, other than the one I lost. I lost against Kid Icarus, or Kid Gohan, whatever it is, Icarus. But he and the Icarus player ended up winning the event, so shout out to Benny, well done, but I'm glad to have lost only to the person who won. And that was a really dicey game as well. In that game I went to play this guy full game, it would have ramped him and I would have won, and he had Frost Deadly Poison, which I did not even expect, and that just ruined me, which was annoying, but well played and good on him. And that's kind of the whole deck. That's the whole shtick. Feel free to ask in comments if you have any questions. Apologize for the shininess. My camera's a bit stuffed at the moment. I nearly didn't get it to work for the tournament yesterday. I wouldn't have been able to play. Glad I did though, to get 3rd place with such a cool deck. A couple of my other matchups, if you're interested. I played against Insane 4 Vegeta, which was... It was pretty much I needed to get Tragedy out before he could get his Boo Unison out, which I managed to do. Going first was really lucky there. The other Gogeta Zeno was really tough because he can pressure with 1-drops. He obviously wasn't able to play thwarting and things like that once I got Tragedy out, but the 1-drop pressure was so strong, and he's got the counter hate as well, and that was pretty good. And that was like my hardest matchup other than the one that I lost. I think I said that before. 2 Cell Surges, 1 Boo. That's how many? That's 4. Kid, Icarus. God, there were 2 others. I don't remember what they were, but I won them, so it was good. Really recommend trying this deck out. I played this deck for a couple of months, maybe a month and a half beforehand, every week at locals, changing it every week. I actually went, it's locals I know, but I was undefeated at locals that whole time, so I won every match with this deck, and it came out like this. I really think the ratios are perfect, other than maybe the Trunks might be able to take that out, because this is at 52 cards, so maybe take the 2 Trunks out and bring it down to 50 and make it more consistent. But otherwise, it was really good. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll speak to you soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting, guys. If you want to help support further, jump in the link in the description below to palmsoffgaming.com.au. Look for your grading needs, for your folders, for your binders, and put the code Cybermen in the checkout. It helps me out. It helps you out. You'll get 10% off. Really awesome. Thanks for watching again, guys, and enjoy.